Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the GameReplays.org Heroes of Newerth cast. Today we are still in the 5th qualifying round of the Invitational Tournament, so the top 8 teams that can garner points from these qualifying rounds will go on to the main event, which will be happening a little bit down the line here, but $3,000 is going to be the top prize, at least the prize pool, and people are very excited about that. Who else is excited? I am excited. I'm the FourCourtJester, and today we do have the semifinals game here of the 5th qualifying round between teams SK Gaming, who just came out of their matchup against MSI in the World Cup yesterday, and they have made their way here to the semifinals, going up against Old Kingdom. Or, not Old Kingdom, I think it's Online Kingdom, but who can tell me if it's right or wrong? I do have Smak with me here yet again. How you doing, Smak?
I'm feeling a bit better this time. Right now we're sitting at a rematch of Ghost of Gamers tournament game. I suppose they met in the semi-finals of the loser brackets, and that game was won decisively by SK. I'm so looking forward to this game. It will be a good rematch.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen Online Kingdom, because I just checked their name. For some reason I keep thinking they're Old Kingdom, but this isn't World of Warcraft, and I should really get that out of my head. But, wow, those bans went by so very quickly. So what do we got here, sir?
Let me see, just Sandwraith that stands out. If it was banned by OK, it did, yes. I'm surprised actually. Lately we haven't been seeing Sandwraith being bad that often, I have to say, and then all of a sudden Sandwraith starts being picked up more often, and then people just, you know, as if they realize that potential, but I'm pretty certain they know that from before, and it's just kind of, you know, surprised me that every team is just looking forward to just ban him instead of doing something against it, which I think could be maybe a better choice, because I don't think Sandwraith being that viable pick, considering that you have heroes that can pretty much just start him off early on, such as Duck's Repulsor, such as Chipper, such as Bombardier. Nevertheless, it's still a good pick if it works out, definitely. Well, as for the rest of the bans, nothing unusual, perhaps Dampier, but Dampier is widely regarded as one of, again, one of the imbalanced heroes from Master Games, but that could be partially true. Maybe the cooldowns are just too low, but we'll have to see how they deal with that. And other than that, maybe New4 are banned, but New4 is just a good support hero, and maybe SK just didn't want to let them have that hero for some particular reason. Maybe just to prevent mobility from OK, since I know that they've been using New4 to do quite a bit of movement on the map, just picking off people. Other than that, just everything is rather regular, I have to say.
Alright, so the quick complete list as the picks are going down. Dampier, Slither, the Sandwraith. We did have the Soul Stealer, which is an excellent choice to be banning. Nymphora, who's kind of fallen out of the metagame. The Bursty Thunderbringer, he's not going to be here. We did just see Cardinal destroy people's faces with the Pebbles, as well as Enso there for SK Gaming. He was ringing. He was on that Pharaoh, and none of them are ever going to be seen in this game. But that does lead to some very interesting possibilities, as we did see Tralfalmador did pick up Bombardier, friggin' Canadian accent coming out there. But Bombardier was banned, I do believe, the last 2 games, and Bombardier did gain a lot of you know, fame, so to speak, coming out of MSI early into it. But this will be our first Bombardier game today. The Pimp Slayer coming out with the Behemoth, and now we're just going to wait on those last 2 picks. Lightly, BDiz is going to be picking up something very support heavy. He has been favoring the Voodoo Jester, but Online Kingdom, they have the Voodoo Jester today to go the Hellbringer, Andromeda, Bubbles. Now, with that kind of lineup, I do see Bubbles in that solo lane, with Andromeda and Voodoo Jester going to be supporting whoever they do tri-lane. I'm just really hoping it's not going to be that Hellbringer.
No. Right now, it's like both teams have... it's pretty much in most of the games, it's just that you can always recognize the setups they can have, because most of the time the tri-lanes are being played on either of the side. Right now on SK, we have most likely would say Behemoth and something else to complete their tri-lane. On the other side we have Andromeda, Voodoo Jester, and again something else to complete their tri-lane. we'll most likely see Hellbringer on mid lane and then Bubbles on the long lane. Bombardier against Hellbringer. That was gonna be an interesting battle, I have to say, and we'll see what they finish with. I'm actually surprised that they've want to pick Tundra in this game, but let's see.
Yeah, the shadow picks are coming out, but Tundra and a Swiftblade, that is what it's going to be. Now, Beatiz has been playing the support. I wonder if he's going to get swapped into Behemoth here. Now he's got at least a Bombardier right now. Witchslayer going to Cardinal, Behemoth going to Beatiz, and the alternate skin on Angry Testy for the Bombardier. So, a very interesting lineup. I mean, Swiftblade, he's melee, as is the Tundra, as is the Behemoth, and that only going to leave us with Bombardier and Witchslayer for their ranged aspects. Now, Tundra likely going in the solo lane, unless you think they're going to go over the 2-1-2. Gladiator's the last pick here for Loda here on the Online Kingdom, so he's definitely going to be the tri-laning hero of choice for them. It's kind of interesting to see where will SK go with this.
I think SK will take their Tronet towards the bottom lane, and I'm curious if they want to place Bombardier on the long lane against Bubbles, which could not be, you know, a bad idea, I have to say, and Tundra at mid lane for their own control. On the other side, I'm curious if OK wants to clash the tri-lanes, but should they choose to do so, they'll have disadvantage because Behemoth will have room to just, you know, maneuver quite a bit. But well, let's see what they decide to do. Nevertheless, I believe Hellbringer at mid lane will be the choice for OK.
Well, it's either going to be that or Gladiator, and I really don't see that going down. So, most likely, we are going to be seeing the split-offs. As you say, oh, good, a competitive pause coming out. Testy AFK, man, he's had quite the issues throughout this tournament with leg, porn, AFK, you know. Lots of little things like that. But I'm going to make use of this pause to just take care of something very quickly right here. So take it away, Smak.
Okay, this might be the tactical pause for SK, but that's how we usually call it when there's an early pause. And you know, just if there's something that hasn't been said prior to the game, then you choose to have a pause right now and clear things out. But it's, you know, sometimes just a joke, but I have to say it happens. It happens. That you actually use it as if you was, you know, coordinate your team better if you did not manage to do that on time.
Still paused.
Also what we should... Oh yeah. Again, I'm curious if we're going to see Bombardier against Hellbringer at mid lane, but that is highly unlikely to happen. But I would want to see that. It's just harassing power from both of the heroes is insane, and I want to see how that works out between them.
Well, the only reason I have an inkling that SK, they might run a 2-1-2 simply because of the way that the picks ended up splitting. I mean, Tundra and both Swiftblade, they don't have escape mechanisms for long lanes, and it's most likely going to be throwing Swiftblade into the try. But if they go with a 2-1-2, you could throw Cardinal, who's playing Behemoth, on top of Trafalmador, who's playing the Swiftblade, and that's a very potent combo. If you can cut off the escape, the magical swirling damage, which escapes me right now, Splade Frenzy, that could really rack up a lot of kills in their lane.
That is also a possibility, but I think that if they choose to do 2-2-1 style play and accommodate their lanes accordingly, it's just that if OK persist with their tri lane, they're gonna have that lane just completely shut down. And when you look at the other lanes, even though if they won't be as functional as they could get, it's just having farm, getting experience points, especially for Bubbles if they choose to put a dual lane against them as well instead of Hellbringer mid lane. It's just, if Bubbles gets experience, it's fine. He needs that, he's getting that, and he doesn't want to. I mean, he does not have to ask for more. The creeps can come actually with, what's called the first spell. He can farm with Shell Surf easily, so not something we should be worried about. But look at this. This is quite interesting. I haven't seen this before. This formation, it's just wow. we're gonna have a battle. You can say go.
Oh, a battle indeed. Down goes the
Wow.
Fisher, completely isolating both the Gladiator as well as the Andromeda from getting out of that. The Fisher is still up. There's so much damage going down. That might have been a little bit of an overextension from Tralfamador, however. He picked up the first kill. I don't even think he got to spend the gold because he just died right out the bat, and that will be a 1-1 exchange even before the rune spawns. So gearing up into the high gear at this point. That was a very quick kill. I mean, that level 1 Andromeda, she's already back alive, but 473 hit points. She melted very quickly. An amazing Fisher just split the DPS or split the team right down the middle in that regard. So good times right off the bat, eh?
I have to say they have me surprised with that much. Okay, they just I haven't seen that before, and I mean it's like when you play lead inside and when you don't have anything better to than just stand there where the ward is, and just see if there's the rune or something. It's just amazing. Oh, we have a positive action mid lane.
Possible. We do have the Voodoo Jester. He has circled around behind the solo Tundra, and we still have two heroes here in the lane as well, Andromeda as well as the Gladiator. I mean, between the three of them, there are 3 disables, and it does look like they are going to try to get this Tundra right now. Down goes the Comet, out comes the Pitfall. Oh, it is going to be hitting that Tundra, but now he's going to try to use the tower as well as the forest to his advantage. He's going to live out of that. So much damage going down on these heroes right now, but that means we're tri-laning mid at this point. Not something you see that common. I mean, down south we got the Bombardier up against the Bubbles, and that puts our tri-lane up top with the Swiftblade, the Behemoth, as well as the Witchslayer. They're going to be keeping Hellbringer at bay a good amount. But look at this, Voodoo Jester, he hasn't even moved. He's still down here. They want round 2 up against this Tundra.
I have to say, this game is just full of surprises, and I have to say positive one, because we're seeing something that we haven't seen before. A tri-lane at mid lane just completely shutting off Tundra. It's just, I mean, okay, I see, okay, there is a point, okay, we want Tundra shots. I mean, it's the only hero they have that can, it's just probably the biggest ganking potential from the leader side. But just, wow, just amazing. At the bottom lane, however, I expect Bombardier to win that lane. It's gonna be, I don't know, we can expect Voodoo Jester moving towards mid lane and back from bottom lane. That should be his routing.
I don't know, I think he gave himself away a little too early there. They really want to go in on this Tundra, but at the same time, I do think their window of opportunity did pass. It does seem Voodoo Jester has realized this as well, and now he's going to come down south for, helping out Overpow, or as his name is now, Mr. Pow. But right now, it does look like Angry Testy is, forcing this lane into his favor. Now, again, up top, it's going to be very expected that Hellbringer is going to have a hard time keeping up with this with this Swiftblade. I don't know why I say mid. But look at down south right now. We do have the cask going down on top of Bombardier. Bubbles as well throwing down his Shell Shock. Not too sure where Bombardier is going to be going from this, but he did get off a Boom Dust. I think that was a Boom Dust. Yeah, I definitely got a Boom Dust off, as well as the Sticky. But now he's just kind of stuck in the forest, and he goes down. No problem. Oh, but look at that. Behemoth, he came to help, but, too little too late at this point.
Meanwhile, top lane is actually, wow.
You should probably follow that up next time, but it does look like...
I'm not used to this. I'm not used to this. I mean, I've been the co-caster most of the time, and I'm not really that confident just doing a lead cast, so you can always stay cover.
Alright, no worries. We do have Swiftblade. He's going to be trying to chase down this Hellbringer. We do have Bombardier up here as well. It looks like the kind of just left Beat is to die in his own little corner there. But now we got two very sickly heroes right now. Andromeda most likely going down here, especially with a bomb on top of her head. So forcing this top lane into obedience. It does look like Behemoth is at least going to be the steward of the bottom for now. But that was, 2 quick successive kills up top, and now it's going to be a 3-3 score. So right now, you know, going toe-to-toe, Online Kingdom and SK Gaming. Right now, it just seems, I don't know, a little bit of a lane swap going on. It is going to be a lane swap. Swiftblade is now heading down south to join Behemoth into what I was hoping was going to be their combo from the beginning. I mean, with a Fisher, it has a lot of potential to really take down any kind of hero. The big problem here, however, is that Bubbles is going to be able to shell surf right over the Fisher, and that's going to be causing an issue with you know, landing these kills down south.
There's one thing, is that perhaps they're slowing down with the action, but they still insist on trialing a mid lane. I just, frankly, I mean, they're allowing Behemoth more possibilities, and Tundra is gaining now levels which could, you know, prove to be quite dangerous. I don't know, just I was expecting Hellbringer mids against Tundra.
Well, this is the second game in a row we've actually had our expectations turned on its head. Right now, Tundra, he should be able to get out of this. He's going to be a little worse for the wear, but as long as your life is intact, I can't say that's going to happen down south as Bubbles gets tri-lane, so to speak, with the introduction of Betas down here. So it has now been a full complete swap, as we do have the solo Bombardier going up against the solo Hellbringer, although I guess I can't really say that. Voodoo Jester is still wandering around the different lanes right now. Looks like he's going to try pulling these creeps. Do we have wards up there? We do have 2 wards there by Betas. One is going to be keeping that creep camp from spawning, which is a very good idea, as well as the other just there for vision. But right now, Bubbles is forced to walk all the way back to the lane, and that's going to give Swiftblade some immense amount of farm right now.
This is not what OK wants to do. There's prospects in mid lane. Tundra just gained level 6. We could. There we go.
Yeah, level 6 indeed. He throws down the ice as well as a little bit of help here from Betas, and that's going to be a kill onto the Andromeda. It looks like they are going to go onto this Tundra, but out comes the Bombardier. Oh, that is some amazing damage going down on Bubbles. His shell surf is not going to be up for another 5 seconds, but at the same time, Tundra can't do an ice shard at all. Might have been a little bit overextending here. They still get the kill, and oh, Andromeda is not going to be landing the last shot they need on that Tundra, and now he's going to go down. As a result, double damage Cardinal Behemoth going to get the smackdown in that lane. So well played there by SK.
Definitely, I have to say some clutch fishes by Cardinal this game. The first one being at the just unusual fight at the Asian spot of Legion side, and then the second one being at bottom lane, just that shut down Bubbles, and now the third one just saving Tundra in the last, I believe, just one hit away from dying, and then just grabbing a kill for himself. It's just awesome play, I have to say.
So right now we do have the early lead coming out for SK Gaming. 1,500 experience, 1,800 gold, 7-3, and we're at the 7-minute mark as well. So a good amount of lead coming out. As we said, they are in control of the kills. Now I did see the bird Shiver come down here to check out the ward placement. We still have a rune ward there up for SK. It does look like Gladiator is going to be in on the menu, but it does not look like the Fisher is going to be enough to grab him there. At the same time, it's not going to be enough to get out of that. Cardinal didn't put down the smackdown. I saw a smackdown on top of his head, but Cardinal is the one that got the last shot there on the Gladiator. So right now, this tri-lane in the middle by Online Kingdom has not paid off whatsoever.
I pointed out earlier, it's just that right now, as it stands, Legion has full control of their part of the map, and that results in just huge mobility from Tundra, from Behemoth, from even Witcher, who has been roaming. As I said, they need to do something. It's like Hellbringer just gained level 6, I believe, and they should just, you know, utilize that. They need more positive income from team fights, because right now this is not going the right way for OK.
Now, with the Hellbringer level 6, that is the introduction of Malphus, and he's a great initiation, even a better counter-initiation tool. What with his huge AoE range and a disable, you could probably stack that very well with some of your opponents, or sorry, some of your teammates' ultimates, such as the Chariot. I'm not too sure it's actually going to come out here with the Behemoth Fisher leading up to the Bombardier ultimate. That's going to be a kill before Malphus even has the chance to come out and play. They really want to make sure that Magic's there. He keeps that plaything all to himself. They don't want to see him out on the field. This is going to be a lot of free pressure now up top because HoN is still kind of doing his bit, doing the farming and the creep pulling, but in the mid it does look like Tundra went down as well, finally getting a kill here for the Gladiator, who's now sitting at 1-2. So it's going to be a good boost to him. We'll see if he can keep it up or not.
If we would look at the table right now, gold per minute, that's a statistic. That part of the statistic is pretty much even. It's almost even, except for the supporters of SK team doing slightly better. But if you look at Swiftblade, he's definitely just out farming the Gladiators on the other side.
Well, not too sure where Swiftblade is right now, but Behemoth, he was in behind Hellbringer there and just set up a perfect kill there on their team. Bubbles, however, was in the neighborhood, and it looks like that's just going to fall backwards in on SK as Tundra and Bombardier both go down, as well as Cardinal about to join them. Swiftblade will pick up the Hellbringer kill and not going to be picking up that Bubbles kill, but his ultimate will be taking Andromeda to the grave with him. Right now, it is going to be a one-on-one up top with, well, maybe a little bit less with the Malphus there, but crit whip going out, the Gladiator and the Swiftblade, you know, just kind of exchanging niceties at this point. But 12-7, that was a pretty good counter there from OK. Really did not go as well as SK had hoped.
Quite an even battle. 3 on either of the sides, if I'm not wrong. But they did lose. Or no, did not lose Gladiator, my bad. It's uneven fight, I would say. Maybe just slightly better for OK because they picked off Bombardier and Tundra. On the other side, only the supporters died for OK, so it was pretty much fine.
Well, a few more of those and we might start seeing OK coming back into this game right now. 1900 experience, 2600 gold. Still in the lead here for SK as it is a 12-7 to boot.
I think OK should just work on more physical damage. Because right now they lack that. I mean, just, yeah, well, they have quite a bit of damage with Andromeda and Gladiator just pairing up with the aura and then flagellation, but still. They need to keep up with the farm.
Well, they're going to have to try their best. As we said, 3,000 gold at 12-minute mark. I mean, that's, what, 1.5 portal keys difference to give kind of a comparison there. Now, have we done anything with that gold of worthwhile right now? No, but a lot of people have a good amount of gold saved up. I mean, take a quick look here at Swiftblade. He's actually farming up top fairly easily right now. He does see the Hellbringer and the HoN. I mean, Beat is again doing a great job here with the warding and counter warding going around. But he also already has himself his Ghost Marchers as well as the Sustainers, so most likely he's going to be going for that Runed Axe as early as he can. If he can get it within the next 8 minutes or so, we might start seeing him snowball, and the gold lead might just start increasing simply because of him.
Definitely. It's right now. He's close to his PK. To his Runed Axe, I'm sorry. Talking about Swiftblade. I think he needs like 1.4k more, and that's gonna be around 17th minute of the game. That's rather fast, I have to say. And right now, as they stand, they do have quite a bit of damage, and with that pickup and then Swiftblade continuing to farm on, just gonna be huge.
Yeah,
He can take over.
he is going to be teleporting here to the mid. Malphus is going to come out. We did Silver Bullet the Andromeda. Out comes a really greatly timed Bombardier ultimate. Landed, I think, on 3 heroes there. Did not save Behemoth from the grave, however, but we were able to take down Hellbringer as soon as Malphus came out, so to speak. We do have Swiftblade. He's going to be chasing down Indiana Jones. Sorry, I mean Gladiator. He's not quite Indiana Jones in this game, but he's not going to be chasing and catching up to that. So maybe a little bit of wasted Homecoming Stone. Could have definitely used that time to go farming. Now he has to buy another one. But yeah, if he can keep up with this, avoiding the team fights and just focusing in on that Runed Axe, it might be a little bit more beneficial down the line. They still have a good lead, 5 kills, 1,200 experience, 2,400 gold. So they have a little bit of a cushion. They need to really make use of that to make the Swiftblade as hard hitting as he can get. And as I say that, he dies.
That was very well needed from OK, and they executed that almost perfectly. They're actually slowing him down. Now he lost his score. I believe he lost like around 450, something like that. And it's, at this point now they're delaying his Ruined Axe. With Ruined Axe, Swiftblade can just farm on, and then it says he gets Ruined Axe around 15 minutes. That was a pause max in mid lane, but again, just awesome blocks by Cardinal this game. I have to say that. Probably saving their teammates. I suppose, yeah, saving Angry Testy and Bombardier.
Well, that is the advantage of the Behemoth. You can either go aggressive or defensive. I mean, movement speed and everything is key. We don't have any portal keys out and about. The only one that can actually skip over the Fisher would be Bubbles. Yep. Only Bubbles. Andromeda that doesn't count, because then you have to swap someone anyways. So, yep, very good pickup and good blocks, as you said, going on right now. We did have a little bit of counter warding going on down here in the bottom rune. So right now, the only wards that SK has is this one in the mid. That's a lie. We do have a fully, a new one, I suppose, a newly charged ward down south by Beatiz. Now, Beatiz is going with a Witch Slayer, and right now he has himself Striders, and he has a power supply. We're probably going to see, what, maybe a Bracers of Strength or 2, and that will probably be it for his items this entire game. But he is taking care of all the wards, and that is a very important aspect to keep in mind, as it benefits everyone on the team, if you can see the enemy.
Of course. As you can see, that it's also, I have to say, smart warding. The last time what happened was that he was tabbed, and they lacked vision on that lane particularly, and now with that ward he's able to spot the enemy coming from him. And if you notice that he's keeping the lanes at the same spot, the creeps are meeting at the same spot, because just farming smartly is denying his grabbing the kills at the same time, but he just keeps the lane to himself, if you notice.
Well, a kill all to himself will be this Hellbringer. He goes down as Tundra was able to pick him off. He's going to teleport out of that before Andromeda could come and make a scene about it. But Beatiz did go down during that fight to Gray, and Gray is Andromeda. So Andromeda picking up a kill, which is slightly weird. But she will be picking up that kill on the Witch Slayer. So 1-for-1 exchange. I figured they would have just put a lot of pressure here on the defense tower, but no, Tundra wanted a kill. And who else might be up on the chop block? Behemoth is up top. And right now we do have some really insane damage going down on FourCourtJester. And right now we don't have the Bombardier ultimate. He did waste that trying to kill that Hellbringer. Unfortunately, he did miss it, and it will not be a factor in this fight up top, as we do have all 5 online kingdom now going to be trying to put the hurt on this top tower, which should be the first tower kill of the game.
It does seem so, yeah. And it gets... No, that was not the first kill, it was the one at mid lane that just got denied.
There you go. Well, not quite denied yet. Oh, okay, I see what you mean in the mid. Yep, so, oh well. Still, a deny will get you gold. It just saves you a heck of a lot of gold for the enemy team. So, right, with that, I mean, almost 3,000 gold difference now. Still about the 2,000 experience. It looks like we're going to have a counter push coming up in the top with only Hellbringer really to defend. We do got Bubbles in the back as well as Andromeda. Andromeda with her Striders. Very, very quick. They did take out Shiver there. Shiver, the bird, whatever it is. So, vision has been cut.
That's just good thinking. They know the advantages of Tundra in that situation when you're pushing the lane, the tower. It was a good guess.
Oh, just so very close. We did have a word of revelation put down here by SKBDiz, and right now they are going to find this Voodoo Jester. Oh, they just put it down at the right time. He must be so very confused right now with the advantage in their hands. It does look like Swiftblade's going to try to make something of it. He caught the creeps, and now without any creeps at this tower, they are going to go for the Hellbringer, so Shiver's doing a good job there in the forest, just seeing all that she can see, and now this defense tower is going to be going down. They're not the best of ideas there for Online Kingdom. That Voodoo Jester, I saw him come up invisible. It's like, oh ho, so we have an advanced scout, and then Beatus throws down the Ward of Revelation and just totally screwed that up right then and there. So 17-11 is the score now with 2 towers in their pocket.
Yeah, that was that was unfortunate for Akir, but we know it's pretty common for them. The Hellborn side to have a ward there, lane wards, and then just it happened to be that Beatus just placed the ward at the right time, and Aki was just cut off. But what I want to point out is that it was a good call for SK to push. They knew that they did not have a Hellbringer out, and that is just huge at this moment of the game, and could prove to be a fight changer because there are many heroes that can combo up, like Gladiator and even Pebbles, and that's quite a bit of damage, I have to say. That was a smart call, and again, just coming back to the Shiva being destroyed, I mean, they did destroy him, but then again, the cooldown is not that high, and they can always just respawn it. And the Shiva right now gives just a huge advantage over the team when you have them placed correctly.
It is fairly common to see Tundra pick up an I don't even know what it's called. I mean, Ever-Seeing Eye, All-Seeing Eye, Everlasting Eye. You know, the eye that sees things. It is very common for him to pick that up.
Bound Eye, I think.
Alright, Bound Eye it is. It does look like Aki's going to pick up a kill there on Angry Testy. Now, that was just happened to be the last shot was enough to take him down because Voodoo Jester has 0 in Cursed Ground this game. Now, is this something we see a lot more of? I've seen a lot of Voodoo Jesters now ignoring Cursed Ground.
I'll get to that later.
Alright, well, we did have... Oh, we did get the deny. Okay, fine. So, Truff Almador, they're picking up that deny. And, unfortunately, it looks like he did pay for it with his life. We did have, of course, the defensive glyph come out, which bought the time for the deny. And Tundra did throw down his ultimate just to delay them from getting that kill. But, it looks like, you know, they're going to be paying for this 2-for-1. Behemoth coming in with the ultimate from the Bombardier, and that's going to be enough to take down Bubbles as well as a Silver Bullet to take down the Voodoo Jester. So what we thought, look at that split right there. The Cardinal throwing out again some more amazing shots here with his Fisher. Is it going to be enough to take out this Gladiator though? We're not too sure. Bombardier's going to find him in the forest, but Gladiator pops his Ghost Marches, runs right through him, and now he's just kind of playing Ring Around the Rosie.
Wow.
Jeez, he won't die. Oh, there we go.
That was just absolutely brilliant action, and just good joking from Loda. I have to say, it's just unfortunate it ended up that way for the sake of amusement. But it was a good fight. It started off with power, just jumping into that ballsy enough, trying to take the top, but unfortunately it get denied. But then again, he managed to pick off Trofmador on Swiftblade, which is a good call, and then again, they managed to, I believe, Tundra was next, being picked off, and then they just overextend themselves. I suppose they did not count on Behemoth having his portal key, and that was pretty much the turning point of that fight. Behemoth managed to, with the help of, what's that pick off, I believe 2 guys, and then just the two remaining guys were pretty much low on HP, and then just Bombardier came in and pretty much made the judgment. But I do believe that the Hellbringer made out. So it was like a 3-for-3 exchange on that battle.
Well, it looked pretty one-sided. I mean, they got the kill on the Andromeda, but they lost the tower as well as the Swiftblade, and then it did look like Tundra, was about to go down, but in come the support and really just evened the playing field on that exchange. 21-14 is the score, 22 minutes in. Still a firm lead here for SK with 4,500 experience, 6,500 gold. I mean, that's still a pretty decent and cushy lead that they have. As long as they don't squander it, it should carry them to victory, but again, should, if, very subjectional kind of words here. So a little bit of the inside joke there with Bede is he has a woman's bladder, which is the size of a pea, of course, which means he has to frequently get up and leave. So that's a little bit about why he said woman's bladder.
By the way, coming back to Tropham though on Swiftblade, he has picked up his Ruined Axe and he's going towards the Frostburn, if I'm not wrong. At that point, he's gonna get enough HP to survive most of the team battles if he gets engaged. But again, it's just Cardinal getting his early portal key. I have to say, this is not necessarily early, but it is, pretty much a good time for him. It's gonna be quite huge as a counter initiate.
Counter initiation not going to be a factor up top, as we do get Angry Testy. He got a little bit angry and then he died, so whatever. Yeah, but we did have Bubbles throw down basically every trick in the book, as well as a Voodoo Jester stun. No Spirit Ward going down for him, did not need it, but we do have some Homecoming Stones coming down south now. 3 heroes for Online Kingdom are going to be defending down here. That's going to ward off SK at least for now. Swiftblade is stacking the jungle by himself, I do believe, and now it's a little bit time to clean that out. That's going to give him some good boosts, so to speak. In the mid, Tundra is going to be trying to take out this Hellbringer, but Hellbringer, wow, that brought his hit points up a very big amount there. The Life Void was pretty Savior-esque right there. Behemoth is not going to be getting out of that one alive, so a 0-for-1 gank on that one.
This might be the moments when OK wants to push the towers. They had the top tower was denied, so they need some additional gold, and perhaps this tower would be that one.
Well, if they do go for this, they are most likely going to be giving up that bottom tower, because Swiftblade is sitting down there fairly full and heavy. He has himself the Firebrand. He's still pushing. Now the gold differential went from 5,500 to 4,000 there, so that was a 1,500 gold pickup, virtually undefended, and Swiftblade not going to be pressing his luck simply because Bubbles came to show his face, ward him off, and looks like they are going to get out of that one unscathed.
I think this is the moment when they want to stop Swiftblade, because getting Frostburn just, gives him more movement speed, a bit more damage, but what's crucial, it gives quite a bit of HP, and in these games, I mean, it's just with these lineups, it could prove to be, just might be a small thing, but could be huge for Swiftblade. And when he gets that Frostburn, he's gonna continue farming, and the amount of farm he's going to get is just going to be increasing so hard. And if they want to do something, they have to do it now. They need to stop Swiftblade now.
They have all now
assembled. This is probably the last call for them.
Yeah. We do have 3 of the 4... or 4 of the 5? No, 3 of the 4 heroes down south. Shiver is doing her duty, doing all the kind of reconnaissance work. So they do know there's only 3, but Andromeda's coming back to the lane. I don't think they quite know where Gladiator is. It does not seem to matter. In goes the Cardinal with that portal key. A good swap coming out of Andromeda, going to keep him alive a little bit longer, but Malf is coming down on top of Swiftblade. Not going to matter at all. Gets a double kill. Now he has to run away. 15 seconds until he can use his skill yet again, but what else is going on? Behemoth is not going to be getting out of that one, but it does look like the casualties are going to stop there. So a 2-for-1 exchange. I think we saw the Chariot come out, but I'm not too sure it actually hit anyone. Witch Slayer really wants to silver bullet that Andromeda, but I'm not too sure he's going to get the chance.
I think the Chariot did not hit anyone. I missed that part. I was watching the other part of the battlefield. But I have to say that there was a beautiful swap from Exane in that moment, just saving Hellbringer and just, you know, making him to be useful in that fight just by releasing his ulti. But Swiftblade just marched in and picks off two of them. I believe Bubbles and finished off Hellbringer. I have to say, just even though that these battles they're seemingly even, but again, it's just hurting okay so much more than SK. Swiftblade surviving, just continuing his farm. He's now level 16. That ultimate is gonna hurt quite a bit. I have to say, they need to do something. It's just a well-coordinated stabs, I have to say, just pickups. But it's like, a good start would be just having proper wards, which is not the case right now.
Well, with the SK, I mean, Beatiz does do himself a good amount of warding throughout these games, but we also have the addition of Shiver, you know, the flying bird that they cannot see, and he gives quite a bit of vision. So, yes, we do have the Assassin's Shroud on Gladiator. I did notice that a little bit ago. So he's going to start becoming a little bit more useful with that crit whip of his. He is going to go right down here onto the Witch Slayer, but Witch Slayer wisely going the other way. I'm not too sure anything's going to actually help him out of that. A little bit of a wasted ultimate there from Tundra going down on the Andromeda, as well as a sticky bomb coming out of Bombardier. Not going to be enough. We do have teleport stones, our homecoming stones, going up top. Hellbringer, he still does not have that Malphus. Another 30 seconds. I'm pretty sure SK knows that as well. They still backed off regardless. Swiftblade, he finished himself up his Frostburn, and now it does look like an Abyssal Skull is next up on the roster, because he doesn't have a Ring of the Teacher.
I think so too. The aim is Andromeda. Once if Beatty is gonna put up hordes. I think
Beatty isn't there.
Wow.
But they were able to keep down that Swiftblade. They had no idea Andromeda was there. Beatiz, it doesn't even have any counter wards, so it wouldn't have mattered whatsoever. It looks like he's going to go down yet again. Or no, he's not. He did not get that portal call, but he's going to grab a kill on the Andromeda. But Bombardier is also going to be going down there. In comes the Hellbringer from the side. It does look like a lot of payback going on, as the announcer said. Now they're going to be looking for heroes down in the forest, and there will be none to find, and this is most likely a dead tower right here. So a good boost there for Online Kingdom, bringing the score up to 24-21, evening the score a good amount. I mean, we are hitting the 30-minute mark, and they're only behind about 800 experience. So they've really really been working away at that advantage that SK had.
Definitely, and I have to say that was pretty much what OK needed. Just well coordinated fight. It was Andromeda being in the risk, just being real, but fortunately for them, it did not happen. They cut off Sitbait. I believe he was standing around 500 HP, I don't really know why that happened. I suppose they expected Connor to initiate like the last fight and then just Sitbait to follow up and perhaps just leave the battle unharmed, but they just did not see Andromeda, and that was pretty much what they needed. They had the vision of the whole team of SK, and they just executed perfectly, I have to say.
It is the 30-minute mark, so what other kind of big items do we have around the place? We did mention the Frostburn and the Runed Axe on Swiftblade. He's had that a good amount of time. We do have a portal key now on Tundra, as well with another Ring of the Teacher. I'm not too sure that actually stacks with the Abyssal Skull, but we will find out. No Bound Eye right now on the Tundra, and on Bombardier, he does have himself, I think, a Nullstone. Yeah, well, he has himself the components. He doesn't quite have it yet. Working on a Nullstone 30 minutes in, though. That's going to be a long time coming, so to speak. Behemoth has not really gone anything past his portal key, because that is going to be his main use, and 2 of the 3 Arcana needed here for a Hellflower on the Bubbles. That's going to be a big silence for him, especially against, you know, this mana-intensive lineup that SK has running. On the Andromeda, we're probably not going to be seeing a Staff of the Master like we did last game, because that was just a ridiculous game in favor of SK, but she has herself, you know, the typical things, awards, power supply, some Striders, and bracelet of a fortified bracelet. A good deny on the bottom tower here, just not going to be giving up that gold as easily as SK wants them to, and that is going to keep down that gold differential from getting too high. Too high in direction of SK. Now, Hellbringer, I don't know, he's kind of has multiple parts to multiple things, but a Beast Heart, Ring of the Teacher, and Mystic Vestments. A little unclear as to which direction he's going to be going. Voodoo Jester with the Mighty Blade. He really wants a Shrunken Head so that he can get the full duration of his ultimate off. The only thing that could really break through the Shrunken Head, I do believe, would be the Tundra ultimate, or maybe the physical stun. I think it's a mini stun on Swift Slashes. I could be wrong, but help me out here, Smak.
Swift Slashes and Behemoth's ultimate as well.
So maybe the Shrunken Head is not such a best idea here, since we have so many ways to interrupt the Voodoo Jester regardless.
I think it's fun because if you even notice that the coordination of HoN Voodoo Jester so far in the team fights is just far from the reach of those that can actually interrupt his ultimate, so I think it's pretty much a fine pickup. It's not like they're gonna use Behemoth's ultimate to jump on Voodoo Jester, that's rather insane, but it's definitely a good pickup, one of those usual choices on Voodoo Jester. But I want to point out that Loda playing Gladiator is pretty much catching up with Swiftblade in terms of free farming. I have to say, it's that you can see them on the lanes separately, just farming, and nobody touching them for like, I don't know, 10 minutes so far. They're just doing their jobs normally, but it's just, I have to say, in terms of carries in this game, it's pretty much evened up. As for the rest, I have to say that Bubbles being able to... is he close to Hellfire? I think he is. Check that up. He's sitting on... I think he's gonna have it soon. And he has now.
Indeed,
he
does.
He picks up Hellfire. That's pretty much a direct counter to Swiftblade. If they have initiation like the last fight and just being able to put up the Hellfire on Swiftblade and take him out at the same time, it's just huge for them, because right now, despite Behemoth and Bombarding deal quite a bit of damage, I think Swiftblade just does it the most, in my opinion. And he's just, you know, the only physical damage they have in the fight now, and probably the only one who can actually, you know, battle against Gladiator. We just need to see a good coordination from OK to just have that plan in motion.
Well, we did have an impromptu lane swap. It does look like the call for Congor has gone down. Yes, Congor is going to be going down very quickly here for Online Kingdom. Out goes the Bombardier ultimate, but it was not enough. Swiftblade coming in and stealing Congor with that ultimate of his. He will be taking out this Bubbles. No problem. Even, wow, that I would have said that was a triple tap right there. Only picking up the duel. I have no idea where the token is either at this point. Do we have any eyes on the token at all?
Token was picked up by Bubbles.
Oh, and he's the only one that didn't die. Duh. There we go. Yeah. Wow, just amazing coordination right there.
There was a genocide announcement at a certain point, by the way. The one thing I have to point out is just there is awards that just got destroyed. It was placed by that cat's creep, or what it's called. Doesn't matter. They had the site, they saw them coming, but it's just Behemoth with Striders being able to get there on time and just catch almost the whole team. It's just wow. They did not have time to react. It's just they saw, I believe, just if you look at the cliff, they saw the vision going towards the downside of it. I'm not certain if Behemoth went from the left side from the left cliff towards the rune and then Congor spot. But I'm pretty sure they saw them, but they could just not react on time.
Well, regardless of whatever people saw or did not react to, that really, I think that just almost quadrupled the lead now in terms of experience for SK Gaming. Yes, they did get the token, or OK Gaming, Online Kingdom did get the token, but at the same time, Swiftblade picks up a double tap and the Congor kill. So that was just huge for SK right there.
Definitely. It's like the last fight from OK was pretty much of the same magnitude against SK. Now SK is being able to, you know, fight back probably with the same outcome. I believe they lost 3 or 4 heroes the last fight they had at bottom lane. Only Cardinal surviving, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and then they just flip-sided that right at the Congor, getting 5 hero kills, but we did use the tokens. So I mean, as much as Congor is such an advantage, having it taken away from you that quickly just does not feel good. Whoever does it to you. So 28-22 is now the score, and you definitely are a busy eye, aren't you? I did see a bound eye running around, but it does not look like Tundra wanted to pick that up. I think Betas has that. No, he deposited in town. Tundra, though, with a puzzle box level 1, he's going to be trying to get that up to level 3 as best he can. And a portal key to boot on the Tundra. We did see that a little bit ago, about 10 or 12 minutes ago. So he's had that one actually a long while. Now, a great thing we were talking about, how Gladiator's picking up to the Swiftblade. He has also now farmed himself up his Runed Axe as after he got himself that Assassin Shroud. So he's going to start hitting some pretty big numbers. Most likely, he's going to use it right here on BDiz, and BDiz, oh, this is going to be very bad for him. But he does get the miniaturization off on Gladiator. It does not matter. The crit whip coming out, and that's going to be the end of him in that regard. So I was just about to say, Gladiator's most likely going for a Rift Shards, and that's going to start skyrocketing some of these whip values, isn't it?
And now he's going towards the forest, and everything there is stacked by 3 times, I think. That's going to be a huge boost. I suppose he's going to get Rift Shards now. And the crits could be far off to 1k, I have to say. So imagine 1k of true damage above everything else they have from the Hellborn side. If that happened, that is just going to be a massacre, I have to say. But on the other hand, just well-placed ultimate from Behemoth can actually put an end to that all. Also, at one point, Tundra, I don't think he had pull key prior to the fight at Congor spot. I do believe he picked up Puzzle Box right after that, but I'm not certain if he did, then it was pretty much what they needed. A solid initiation, except, I mean, just probably, we can always like go like this. We go in with Tundra, and if we have a good initiation, if everything goes well, then we can follow up, because Tundra is, yeah, I'd say you can sacrifice Tundra or Behemoth, in my opinion. And that's what they need. They just the last couple of fights we already had Behemoth going in and just dealing damage, but it happens to be that SK that OK managed to turn the tides in those battles. But right now they can just, you know, just initiate with Tundra and just coordinate a bit more with Behemoth still.
Turns out the Hellbringer was carrying around his Beast Heart in order to get himself a Helm of the Black Legion. Not too sure what that's about, but that is what he has. We did just see a Nullstone proc off of Swiftblade, however, so he is looking fairly fearsome at this point. 497 crit right there, and now a Nullstone to go with his, you know, Runed Axe, Frostburn. I mean, the only thing after that would be, what, True Strike Mace, or maybe even just a Shrunken Head just for kicks.
Frankly, I'm not certain how good of a pickup was Nullstone, because if you look at the Hellborn heroes, they have so many single targeted spells that pretty much have low cooldown.
Well, we'll have to keep an eye on that.
To just activate his Nullstone. So maybe Shrunken Head would have been a better choice, but we have yet to see, I suppose.
Never say never. Right now, Online Kingdom is definitely playing a little bit more defensively. It looks like we're going to be doing some more stacking. So, I mean, right now the support coming out here for Online Kingdom definitely doing a good job of stacking. Gladiator has been picking up a lot of that farm. Speaking of farm, 483 gold a minute is definitely the top of the game. That's Tralfamador on the Swiftblade. Next in line would be the 404 on Loda. Past that, it really just kind of skyrockets downward. Mr. Pow's at 300, and then, you know, 250s here, 250s on the SK. So right now, yeah, if they can keep down that Tralfamador, then yeah, for sure, that would be a great thing. But if we can, on the flip side, keep down, you know, this Gladiator, I mean, both teams could very easily fall apart in team fights.
By the way, we have Polki on Witch Slayer. That's also a good follow-up after Tundra. Pretty much what they needed as well. And then we have Reef Shots being made on Gladiator.
Wait, so is this like... Okay, we don't have a portal key on Bombardier. I was like, is this like a totally pure portal key team?
Frankly, I don't remember if I actually saw anyone picking up portal key on Bombardier. It's just, frankly, that pickup just makes no sense on him. In my opinion, at least.
Well, that's why you're here.
It's
Give
just,
us your opinion.
He's able to put up the damage, you know, cast the spells from long distances. I mean, why does he need it? I mean, okay, Polki could be fine, I don't mind, but just I don't think that's a good pickup. Right now in this game would be a waste of gold.
Gladiator has level 2 Rift Shards now, and that's really going to start putting on the hurt. I'm really expecting a lot of big numbers coming out of him. With a level 2 Rift Shard, we could probably see the 600-ish range. I mean, we are at 300 damage, but look at that ultimate going down from the Tundra, and the Behemoth stacking on top of that, just insta-giving bubbles, as well as taking down the Hellbringer before we can... No, we did have the Malphus come out. Never mind, but another kill for the Swiftblade. He's going to try to take out this very tanky Gladiator. It's not going to work, but with a little bit of help, they are going to be taking him down. 560 crit is going to land Tralfamador there, that hat trick. And that is actually going to be a total genocide right now. And right now, only SK lost Cardinal out of that. The Behemoth did go down, so a 1-for-5 exchange. This is not going to be boding well for these Raxes in the mid, because they have a lot of time before that Gladiator comes back up out of life.
This is pretty much what I expect. It just gives you so much more of coordination if you have Tundra, pick on Tundra. As I said, he chooses a target, and then what happens? The opposite team tries to help, and that's the moment where you forget about Behemoth. I have to say, it happens so many times, even to the best of the players. And then you need to, you know, just react to help out your teammate, and it happens to be that you actually accidentally group up, and that's where Behemoth jumps. And you know, it happened to be in the last fight, and you saw how huge that was.
A very well-placed ultimate and a very good strategy coming out of SK. 33-24 is now the score, but look at the golden experience differentials right now. Oh, I mean, they're approaching the 19,000 marks. So right now, firmly in the lead, especially now, you know, we're well and truly past the mid-game, I think. 45 minutes is a good end-game sort of mark. We do have Congor back up, and does look like Online Kingdom is going to try to at least soften him up for the Gladiator. Where's Gladiator? There he is. He's coming down now as well. Level 3 Rift Shards going down on him, but it doesn't matter. You can have level 100 Rift Shards. He did not really seem to have any chance to use him in that previous fight, which is just great CCing coming out of SK.
Notice that everybody on both teams, except for Hamburger, has their spells ready. This fight is gonna determine the game, in my opinion. It comes down if OK managed to get a good initiation, then just, you know, being able to cut off this blade. If that does happen, then they do stand a great chance to finish off the battle into their advantage. But SK might be pushing bottom 8, so look, we might have initiation now from OK. They know they need to initiate.
Well, neither team really wants to be the first step forward, except that Tundra, who's going to be throwing down his ultimate right there on Mr. Pal. Again, insta-giving this bubbles, and we did have the Swiftblade ultimate coming around as well. The Swift Slashes is going to be trying to take out this Gladiator. They do indeed take out this Gladiator. I don't think that Chariot made a lick of difference yet again, and it just looks like another very quick genocide. Not even going to be concerned about Congor at this point. We got the GGs coming out from OK, so back-to-back genocides is going to be determining the game. game here for SK Gaming, as they will now proceed on to the finals of this 5th qualifying matchup here of the GameReplays.org Season Tournament 3. So, that is very, I was expecting a good game out of this. I got a good game, but wow, back-to-back genocides, that really just almost exponential growth on the differentials there, Smak.
Yeah, absolutely. I just saw, let's say SK Game was leading throughout the most of the game, and then OK was pretty much back into the game, but then just one fight that turns the tides, and the last one to just, seal it down. Nevertheless, we just had a great game. I have to say, a lot of clutch moments and a lot of brilliant play from both sides, I have to say. So I'm glad I've been able to cast this one.
So with that being said, we will be following SK Gaming into the finals now of the 5th qualifying round of the Game Replays tournament. They're going to be, regardless, picking up a lot of points and most likely going to be invited to the Invitational. That will be happening a little bit down the line. The top 8 teams are going to go at it head to head, so to speak, as they will be competing for a $3,000 prize pool. So let's go find out who they will be facing here in the finals, and it will be hopefully a legendary. So I'm the FourCourtJester. Joining me with competitive insight is Smak, the team captain of TCM. That is correct, TCM? That's your current clan?
TCM now, yeah.
Good times, and we will see you guys in the next match.